Okay, I am really starting to wonder if I should be concerned about my unlucky streak, or this is like the 8th date, I kid you not, that just has not happened for me. The Black Plague is real. This morning I got a message from a guy who was like, hey, I really want to be your sugar daddy. I've done fairly well, and I have the ability to like pay for somebody else's bills, and is that something you're interested in? And I was like, but at what cost? Like, are you gonna make me dress up in these like really weird outfits and live in a cage in your basement? Or are you gonna like make me eat like cream cheese while I'm like sitting in your closet? Like, what's the catch? Right? Then I had another guy who messages me, and his name is like Big Baby or something, and he's like, hey, just wondering how you would feel about dating a man who wears adult-sized diapers. I was like, block, 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 block. So I was supposed to meet up tentatively with my friend, my man friend, the one who never has any time because he's always working. And of course, that's what happened tonight. He was stuck at work. So he kind of gave me like this wishy-washy answer of whether or not we were going to hang out. So I was like, you know what? I met somebody today. He asked me to go out. I'm going to go out on a date. And if something happens, I'm going to text you 911. And he was like, oh, do you want me to text you at a certain time and say like you're having an emergency with your kids? And I was like, no, I'm going to text you 911, and then you're going to get your butt to wherever I am, and you're going to come pick me up. But so this guy I was talking to today, he was like messaging me all day. I got finished up at work. I was like, hey, I have half an hour before I need to leave and go get my kids. If you want to meet for coffee, this is where I'll be. He's like, oh, let me look it up. I'm like, this is a Starbucks in like a main location in Portland. Why do you need to look it up? But I was just like, okay, whatever. I didn't question it. I was like, maybe he's not a coffee drinker. So then he texts me back. He's like, no, I just finished my workout and I'm sweaty and gross. So I was like, okay, whatever. So get home, message him. I'm like, look, my friend doesn't seem like he's going to be able to hang out tonight. Do you still want to go out? He's like, yeah, let's go out. So last time I hear from him is at 5:30. I text him. I'm like, okay, where do you want to meet? Tell me where to go, and what time. Nothing. Crickets. Crickets, crickets, crickets. I send him a picture of me. I'm like, hey, remember this girl? Crickets, 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 nothing. So I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, texts me at 8:30. Sorry, I had an emergency with my mom. It was just a heart scare thing. She's fine now. So I'm like, okay. Is that believable? Possibly. So then he's like, I'm like, oh yeah, well, glad she's okay. That's a relief. And he's like, yeah, except my whole night is ruined. And I was like, well, meet me for a drink now then. So he's like, where are you? You're in Brunswick? And I was like, yeah, but I'll meet you in Portland because you're in Scarborough. So it makes sense for me to meet you in Portland because it's, right where it's close to where you are. He's like, no, I have no problems like meeting you up in Brunswick. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really like to poop where I eat, meaning this is where I live. So I don't really like to have my business aired where I live. I don't really like to go out where I live because, this is where I live. This is where my kids go to school. So I don't need all of my neighbors knowing my business, and I don't need, this is where I live. I'm respectful of my surroundings. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, let's meet in Yarmouth, because I'm thinking like Yarmouth is halfway between where he is and where I am. And he's like, all right, let me look it up. And I'm like, again with that, like, let me look it up thing. And then I didn't hear back from him at all. So I message him and I'm like, well, this has been fun. Bye-bye. Like this was fun while it lasted. See ya. Ugh. I also had a guy who messaged me and was like, your hair is beautiful when it's curly. And I'm like, thanks? Like, is that actually a compliment? You're basically telling me that my hair only looks pretty when it's curly. He found me on Instagram, proceeded to like only the pictures where my hair was curly. So I unmatched him from the dating website, and then he went back and proceeded to unlike all of my curly haired pictures. And then I had a guy who was like, I hate heels. You can't wear heels. Never wear heels. And I was like, wow, okay. Because he was only 5'6". I was like, wow. These are all the gems that I've been meeting. Never did hear back from Brown Sugar, so I guess that's all over. And Sherry's friend, whose house we went to at 2 o'clock in the morning, again told her sister that he thought I was cute, but has in no way, shape, or form tried to contact me. So it looks like a whole lot of dead ends for me. Welcome to dating when you're 39. Wah, 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 wah.